Before we even start today, we've got golden loaded die. Gain an additional choice for objects and upgrades. This additional choice is always of rare or higher quality, just like me. So with that in mind, we should find nothing but good upgrades all the way through. Plus we have a nice hat, so we're gonna get to work killing things straight away. We actually have a phenomenal upgrade. You get one more choice, so we're gonna get an extra choice. We already have 2 legendaries. So I'm going to go ahead and take the extra choice moving forward. We could have started on a big AoE build there, but more choices are more choices. The very next level, we didn't find anything better than blue, so we're maybe going to reroll that once, hoping for something better. And our critical hits are going to do 75% more damage. Pretty sure we can use the power multiplication to make an absolutely absurd build with that. We're also going to raise the range of your AoE pickup range by 30%, mostly because I'm lazy. I don't want to have to walk to the coins, I want the coins to walk to me. Starting to get a different color coins. Your projectiles bounce one more time, absolutely. That means we're going to get an extra bounce and an extra potential hit or critical hit. This is so satisfying. Gain a lot more attack speed. Okay, if you insist. Now we're fighting a blanket with a health bar. This shouldn't take long at all, especially if we manage to land a critical hit. His fireballs are at least very slow for now. Out of the chest, Ethereal Flame. Spawns an invincible moron that picks up coins for you. It moves 20% slower but inflicts 50% of my damage when it touches something. And it collects coins for me. So again, the coins will literally walk themselves to me. Projectiles bounce one more time again. So that actually means we don't need piercing. If they bounce, they don't need to pierce. There's no high quality here, so we'll just straight up take in a lot more damage. I think we've upgraded just about everything so far, so it's a very balanced build for the first time ever. But don't worry, eventually something will take the front seat. Your crits deal 75% more damage, so they're already up to 350%. The odds of high quality upgrades on this one are absolutely huge. I'm actually getting sad now every time the menu opens and I don't hear the jingle. That means we got a legendary, but we'll raise the AoE by 30%, so we're at 170% AoE size. And then on top of that, raise the AoE by another 40%, so we're at 200% AoE, which is really big. We don't have anything for AoE yet, but we will soon. I got touched by the rolling boulder, and that took a little bit of my HP away, but to make up for it, we're going to get something good. Your projectiles bounce 2 more times, and they bounce in the opposite direction, so that's actually going to be good, especially when we get the arrow thing that fires behind us as well. 100% more crit damage, what, 450% crits. We just need some crit chance while we're at it. I'm going to knock cooldowns by 10%, so they're down to 81% already. I think my permanent upgrades that I have all over the place basically maxed out, make me start at like 90% cooldown rate and everything, so to begin, we're already really strong. I don't think I want any more piercing. I have lots of bounces already, so I'm not going to worry about that. We'll take another 10% on cooldowns, so they're down to 73%, 7/10 of what they originally are supposed to be. Okay, I guess my AoE is going up yet again. We'll just take that one more time, 250%. I can't help it when it's a legendary. So we have really big AoE, but damage is starting to feel a little bit lackluster. So we're going to need a bit of that. We've also had some opportunities for crit chance, but I'm a sucker for those yellow upgrades. Yeah, because we're able to hurt him, but not nearly as much as I would like. It's a shame we didn't get critical chance sooner, because this gives us plus 40% critical chance, but we'll no longer get the choice for those, which we just can't take. I'm actually going to reroll these because I'm here for excitement. Before you dash, take 1 damage, but permanently gain 5 default damage. Does not have any effect when you have 1 health left. So if we need a bit of damage, we just go like that. Now we're at 85. If we go like that, we're at 90. And that's going to pair very nicely with critical hits. Because once our crits get high enough, we'll be able to do unimaginable amounts of damage. I'm going to take the increased crit chance by 7%. I know there's some legendary and epic quality upgrades there. We don't want those right now. I guess when I don't really get a lot of good options, like this is still a 5% increase. So now it's almost 1 in 5 crit chance. And we just saw a shot for 405. We have Sandshrew making an appearance, so we'll go ahead and destroy that rather promptly. So there's another 5% crit chance, 22. And if we need more damage again, we can go like that. Base damage is up to 95. And that crit multiplier on top of that is going to get ever bigger. Enemies are starting to pile up a little bit for sure. They shouldn't last too long though. Eventually, like 1 good damage or attack speed upgrade and we'll really start to thin them out. Okay, we're taking an increased chance of critical damage, 5%. And we have all these options for extra choices that are always at least rare or better. We're still mostly taking basics. But to be fair, we did start out with a lot of legendaries, so it's okay to take a few basics now. We're still way overpowered considering where we are especially. 75% more crit damage, so we got 525% on crits, so we're hitting for 500. The bouncing thing in the opposite direction will be good later. For right now, it's not actually the most useful because we hit an enemy and the arrows bounce off the screen mostly. But I got a shot at Mr. Tomato here, so we'll see if we can... No, I need to kill you. Didn't really think this build through for bosses. If we get some crits, we're going to be okay, but dashing is going to hurt me. Dashing is going to hurt me till we have 1 HP left, so Old Tom here is going to be a little bit more difficult than I would like. We'll make this work. We always do. Okay, Old Tom has knocked himself unconscious, so we're going to hit him with hopefully some crits that are going to knock his health down. 95, 95, 95. There's a 500. We need more of those. Come on, hold still. We need to stick you full of these arrows or whatever I'm throwing at you. I can understand why they call you Simple Tom. Alright, this should about finish off. Yep, because we had a critical hit. Now, I hope my health bar enemy comes back. I want my chest back. Whenever you take 2 damage in a row, heal for 3 health. Yes, because I can use that to take double damage. So I can go damage, and then we put it right back on. It's got a cooldown, but that also adds damage. We have 105 base damage suddenly. So you can see how that's going to stack up nicely. Here's a very important one. Gain much more attack speed. We're at 2.5 per second. Now we're at 3.5 per second, which is really, really, really big. And those are hitting for well over 500 damage. There's another health bar enemy already, which is really good because they're going to drop chests. Okay, we're going to take 7% to crit chance. Now it's legitimately 1 in 3 will be a crit. Even more than that. So we'll test out our damage on health bar idiot. Yeah, when we crit, it's big damage. So I'm going to get 5% crit chance for each ready to use stack of dashes because we have 3 currently, so that's going to add 15%, so we get a 1 in 2 crit chance. So from here, we don't need a lot of crit chance upgrades, we'll take crit damage. And much more attack speed suddenly, so we're up to 4.5. We've essentially doubled our attack speed in the past like 30 seconds. We'll also go like that to add more damage. Yeah, we can really feel the difference now because we can absolutely melt things provided we actually get critical hits. I do miss piercing. The bounce thing, like I said, will be better later, but early on, piercing's better. Every 30 shots, your next shot is a slow, huge, deals 3 times more damage bullet that cannot be stopped. With enough attack speed, those will show up more often too. And it can't be stopped, so it's going to be a big critical hit. I'm going to knock down my cooldown ability by a further 15%. Now it's down to 60% of its original starting. That's just so my healing ability can show up. That way I can add more damage to myself. Because we're here for the big numbers. So dash, dash, and we heal that right back on. And then, yeah, we're up to 125 base damage. The crits are up to 650 now as well. So that's getting better and better. That's going to go up again. There's 100% more crit damage. So about 800. 800 already. On this one, I'm going to take attack speed to hopefully push that over 5. Yeah, it's up to about 5 arrows per second, and that's perfectly fine for now. We can work with this. We have Captain Idiot Stick here throwing orbs at me. It was a short-lived venture for that thing. This is fun. For each bounce you have, summon a Tumbleweed that bounces off the screen's edge. It deals your current damage to enemies it hits, and it gains 1 bounce. So we're going to fire those off a lot. We're going to have Tumbleweed helpers. And suddenly I can mostly just sit right here and let the good times roll.
My rolling cabbages will kill most of everything as it turns out.
I'm going to reduce my cooldowns again by 15%. Now we're at 50%. It's sort of diminishing returns after this point to keep knocking those down. We can do it. Obviously, the more we can do those, the more a lot of effects we're going to get. Well, since it's offering, we're going to take a lot more attack speed, up to 5.55. And I really can feel the extra damage output now. The ability just came back, so we're going to go like that. There's an extra 10 damage, which is actually pretty much an extra 10% damage for us. I wonder if I can fill the screen with tumbleweeds. How many bounces are we allowed to have in total? Okay, there's a health bar on anybody, but he's basically already dead. We're going to deal 75% more crit damage, so up to an even 700%. So there is 1100 damage. When your projectiles should be destroyed, their damage is reduced by 50% and they pierce instead. So we're also going to get more pierce, but the projectiles are going to last even longer. Starting to be a lot of projectiles on the screen, but that's perfectly fine. We'll get the tumbleweeds going again and nothing will be able to survive my onslaught. Okay, we're going to do increased crit chance by further, so we're up to 54%. Provided I have all my dashes, which we do sometimes, but sometimes I turn that into damage instead. But crit damage is up to 1155 and we're seeing it frequently. There is actually one of the first times we had a significant amount of damage, but we're not going to do that. We're going to take 10% more for our cooldowns, so they're down to 47.4%. Now we're going to fight this guy as well. We got to get away from that actually. Oh, I need to do that twice so I healed. Yeah, I did a double dash there because we heal more than we take damage. Okay, we're going to focus in now and not do anything further stupid. Okay, now we're going to sit here and destroy him from here. Yep, damage feels perfectly fine. As long as we're thinking with the crits, he's getting hurt. He's back to make an appearance. He's going to get cabbaged really badly if he stays there. This one can be annoying, but I think as long as he moves slightly right here, we're fine. My ability's back, so I should actually double dash. Oh, that killed him anyway. Never mind. Every time you move 2 meters, load your next shot with 2 more projectiles. Okay, we tend to do that fairly often, so when we go to fire, extra projectiles. Ooh, health bar enemy. These are always fun to test our damage. Had to move a little bit, and we're gonna move again. Yeah, damage is pretty good. It's gonna get better. Lightning hits a random enemy within an area around you every 0.5 seconds. Given our cooldown, that should be every 0.25 seconds, and the AoE is 250%. So yeah, that's going to be really nice for things that actually get close to me. The lightning is hitting for almost 1600 damage. That seems really, really, really strong. So let's see if we can get more. Extra 75% crit damage. What is it now? 1742. It's going to get so stupid. So we're also going to shock the, whatever that is. The buff scarecrow. Yeah, perfect. Let's also get the pistarang. Consistently spirals around you and inflicts your damage to enemies it goes to and shoots at your current attack speed. So that's just also going to be out there being a bit of a blender. I'm mostly interested in the lightning at this point though. We could really get some DPS out of that. So do we take AoE or cooldown? We'll probably take some more AoE at this point so my lightning gets bigger. 280. That actually made a big difference. So we can continue to make it bigger. We can increase its crit damage, but we can increase our base damage, which obviously makes it bigger because it's a giant multiplier. So like there's an extra 10 base damage, so it's 1912 now. We're going to do AoE by 20%, so that's going to make it even bigger again. So then when we hit a health bar enemy, we are absolutely going to shock it to death. I'm going to gain an armor that protects you from one hit. There were some different choices there, but if we're just going with like lightning and cooldown damage and crits, this is going to be the way to do it. Our damage is going up by 100 like very, very quickly at this point, so we'll be able to stack up some massive damage. Okay, AoE is going up by a further 20%. I just want everyone to be inside my orbit. Look at all of these fun choices. Legendary damage, legendary pierce, legendary bounce. I guess we'll take one more bounce because I think that also gives us an extra cabbage. So far this feels right. It's actually a pretty balanced build aside from the fact we only have 4 HP, but I mean, we'll be fine. We just won't get hit. Critical damage goes up by 75% again, so at 925%, so waiting for 2500 already. And here comes the sheriff, so we're going to go ahead and electrocute the sheriff really badly. Yep, so far so good. Whoopsie doopsie. Yeah, that was only your shield anyway, so that doesn't really matter. We're going to do that to heal. Oh, that didn't work to heal us for some reason. Oh yeah, this thing was still on cooldown. Okay, we've already knocked that off the horse. So now we can just stay right here and watch the health go down. Okay, we can't get that close right now though because of the orbs. Now we can because it's going to spin for a second, so we'll sit there and absolutely knock that HP down while my pistarang is also going through there. Yeah, but 2700 on a crit, so that feels right. Gonna have to do a little bit of dodging here, but not much. Actually, yeah, we still gotta move. The circle's almost big enough we can get away with that. If we go like that, we actually should have added damage. I don't know why that ability didn't just work there. Maybe it did and it was delayed because we're back up to full health again. So I don't know what to make of that. Also, I don't know what I just did there. Oops. Okay, I cannot get hit again. So we are going to keep dodging and we got to get this thing killed. That was way too close. I started to panic. Now we can take this game. 40% crit chance, but crit chance upgrades no longer appear. That's fine. We have 84% crit chance. Now we can worry about more better ones. Base damage is also up to 300 at this point, but if we do that, it is up to 310. Let's reduce our cooldowns and dash abilities by a further 15%. So now they're at 40% of what they're supposed to be. Only 4/10. And it is up to about 3000. It's over 3000 damage at this point, so watch him melt. Each of your projectiles moves between 30 and 60% faster. That'll be good though, since they bounce. They're just going to bounce to where they're going quicker and have any enemies less on screen. And I am tired of looking at them, so we'll let these things bounce around all they can. Legendary AoE, another 40%. So up to 360%. Look at the size of that lightning. Not many things are going to be able to walk through all of that and like physically reach me. Ooh, another health bar guy. Let's see if he likes lightning. He doesn't seem to, he's dead. When you get hit, 30% chance to dodge. Dodging triggers on-hit effects too. So it can actually add damage. So even if they go to hit us and we dodge it, and that happens twice in a row, we take no damage, but our damage goes up. Further 40% AoE, so we're up to 400%. Now the lightning is almost to the edge of the screen. And shocking things for 3200 damage at the moment. I guess the dodge thing also applies to my dash, so I can actually dodge and dash the damage, or dodge the damage I'm supposed to take from dash. So my damage goes up, but I don't take any damage for it. Okay, cooldowns, further 10%, 36. I'm going to increase my attack speed by 1% per enemy on screen. That might save me later. If we start getting swarmed, more enemies will spawn. We'll be able to decarry them quicker. But now we got to dash and then dash again. So there's all of our damage. We could even try that again. Yeah, we dodged it and we still got damage upgrades. We're 380 base damage, which is 3500 crits. Plus our abilities coming back so quickly that we can like do this a lot. We're going to add so much base damage. And that's also good for our lightning. 15% cooldown again, so 30%. We'll round it up to 31% to be fair. But our lightning is going off ridiculously fast at this point. Nothing's going to stand a chance. Let's also emit an aura that periodically inflicts 30% of your damage to enemies on screen. That goes off every 0.5 seconds, but that's actually going to go off every 0.15 seconds, give or take a very little bit. So we have multiple things that are going to... Oh, that feels good. So if they don't die from the onion, they're definitely dying to the lightning. Yeah, we're hardly even seeing the lightning at this point. Fun. We need more AoE. Last time I did this, I don't remember which direction I went with this, so it might be quite similar, but I could understand why. It's quite fun. An extra 20% AoE. So I guess we can just keep doing that. As long as we're not taking damage, it's perfectly fine. So we dodged that one. There's 430 damage. We didn't dodge that one, but we're up to 435 damage. We're being followed by a demon. Permanently raises your attack speed by 40%, but half of your shots are less precise. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Now we're a machine gun. Now we are an absolute weapon. I was going to go back to more crit damage, but we're just going to have to take more AoE, so that's 440%. It's just a wave of purple text that destroys everything. I think I do still need, well, now that I got this, there's so many good choices. Okay, I guess we're taking the 40% AoE. I don't have a choice. The game gives it to me. I pretty much have to take it. Permanently augments your damage by 20%, but projectiles are 30% slower. That's fine. We're not doing damage with projectiles anyway. So that went 470 to 564. And we very quickly turned that into 582. And as the dashes come back, we're still going to use those because we're dodging our own damage. So there's 600 damage, which means the crits, the lightning was hitting for, I think, 5,500. But the onion also just hits everything. So it's constantly going off for 1,600, which apparently is enough to melt whatever these things are. Okay, we'll take a little more crit damage. It's an even 1,000% crit damage at this point. Oh, I didn't even see the health bar guy. Get in my orbit. Every 1 meter, deal 30% of your damage to enemies in area around you. So that's based on how far we walk. So therefore how fast we walk. But we're also doing a lot of damage from that. So we kind of just have an evaporation field around us at this point and nothing's going to be able to get through. I guess at this point I'll actually take more dashes. None of these are really suited for my needs. But I guess if we have more ready-to-use dashes, our crit chance is up, so it's up to 100% as long as we have all of our dash slots ready. Alright, I once again don't like my choices, so I'm going to banish and reroll your current choices. So those are never coming back again. And we're going to become a mass poisoner. Every time you move 25 meters, poison grenade shoots at the nearest enemy, inflicting poison on an AoE. So that's going to be bad for them. Pretty sure we're already so invincible that like the game's going to crash before we would actually be overrun by enemies. So given that we're now a mass poisoner, it's anyone's guess what's about to happen. Okay, here's another enemy. Actually, this one's lasting surprisingly long. Okay, we're also going to shoot behind us. That's just basically doubling our physical damage output. At least in regards to arrows, we're still doing lots of damage elsewhere. Let's reduce the cooldowns by a further 10%, so that's down to about 28%. So that's making everything happen really, really quickly. It's actually hard for me to take damage 2 times in a row to make my healing ability trigger, because usually I just end up dodging all the damage. So dash dash. Oh, that actually triggered it. Great. We're up to 810 base damage. Gain 10% more experience from future and past coins. Yes, that's got to be worth something. Yep, we've already leveled up again. Do we want bigger AoE? Yeah, we probably do. We only got 1 extra level out of all that because we're such a high level. It's so hard to gain more. So let's take 75% more crit damage. It's now up to almost 1100%, which is pretty strong. Your projectiles leaving the screen now appear on the other side. We lose 15% attack speed, but I mean, that's fine. We're not doing a lot based on our attack speed at this point. The fun thing about this build is I haven't extended my dash cooldown time, so like I can dash really, really quickly and add lots of damage to myself. And by the time those things get anywhere near me, they blow up. There is about 10,000 damage sitting there. Every time you move 2 meters, lightning strikes a random area, dealing 100% damage in a small AoE, which is actually going to be a massive AoE. So that's just going to help, you know, thin them out even more. I'm going to take more AoE. I think crit damage is going to start to fall off as well. Like I can just increase base damage anyway endlessly, so I feel like AoE is going to be more of a fun and useful upgrade. Our base damage did just break 1000 as well, so we are really putting a lot of DPS out there in the world. Gain 1 bounce for every pierce you have and gain 1 pierce, which isn't going to make a great difference at this point. Whenever you have to make a choice, upgrade an object, one of the options is marked by chaos. Choosing the marked option permanently augments your damage by 4%. So that's a little more potential damage moving forward. I guess we should take this one. Fire 36 projectiles around you upon taking damage and gain 2 max health. Plus 4% damage is really mostly what I wanted there. I keep forgetting I have a shield too, which is also regenerating quite quickly, so that's also going to protect me from 1 damage. But I think still counts as a potential damage on hit type maneuver. I didn't even see this guy before he got erupted. Shoots an orbiting projectile regularly. It's supposed to be a 4% cooldown. It's only going to be a 1% cooldown. Plus 4% damage. Base damage is now also up to a modest 1340. Since we didn't get cooldowns here, we're simply going to take another 20% for AoE I guess we could permanently augment our damage by 30%. We're going to lose attack speed, but we don't use attack speed anymore. So our damage just jumped up to 1825. And then we're going to get one additional choice in chess and 4% damage. And then if I do this a few times, our damage is going up to 2000. We're actually getting 9 damage per dash at this point. Slow enemy projectiles in an area around you, so should they manage to actually throw anything at me, we'll see it coming and dodge. I'm not sure anything can actually get close enough to me to even fire projectiles at this point, so we're going to sit back and wait and see what happens. Attract all collectibles on the screen when you eliminate a deputy. Perfect. Now I can really sit back and relax. Obviously, if I'm dashing around, my damage will go up as well, but I'm taking a break. And we just eliminated our first deputy. Okay, we're going to take another 2% on the cooldowns. So we're at 22.5%. That did only drop at 2.5%, but those differences will still add up. We're also going to deal damage in an area around us before I dash. We're going to gain 1 dash and also get 4% damage. So now I can do things like that, and yeah, we're up to 2700 base damage. When you stay still, periodically fire projectiles around you. That's got a cooldown of 5 seconds. It's not going to take 5 seconds for that to happen. More AoE, we're already at 540%. I'm actually going to take cooldowns again, which dropped us to 20. So now whatever is supposed to cool down is going to take 1/5 of the time it's supposed to. Alright, let's very lazily add some damage. For each current health, get bigger and deal 10% damage, but move slower. Yep, that's fine. We're up to almost 5,000 base damage. We just crossed 3,000. So 5,000 base damage means we're doing 57,800 crits. And that's so far. We're going to see how much bigger we can take that. Drop a dynamite before each dash. It explodes and inflicts damage in an AoE after 2 seconds, and we gain 1 dash. I guess I'm going to attract my collectibles from further away because I want the 4% damage. Hey, there's faster cooldown. Another 10%. So we're at 18% cooldowns. Oh, here's one that's just stupidly unfair at this point. Deal your raw damage as AoE each time your projectiles inflict a critical strike. That might only include my arrows, but it doesn't matter. Like, we're doing giant 70,000 crits in explosions that are 540% bigger than they're supposed to be. Base damage has climbed up to almost 6,200 at this point as well. 2 shields rotate around me and block enemy projectiles. That's going to keep me, I guess, even safer. Dashing destroys up to 3 enemy projectiles. They explode, and inflict your damage to enemies in AoE and regain a dash. After moving for a while, you shoot a slow, intangible projectile. Lightning hits a random enemy within its area every 0.5 seconds. A few upgrades later, we're even bigger, which means we have even more health, which means we have even more damage. Our base damage is up to now 9,328. Which means our crits are hitting for well over 100,000. You can sort of see them on the edge of the screen. So that feels pretty good. We can't see any enemies at any given time really. They die somewhere off the screen. Okay, I've climbed painfully up to level 61 and this took a long time. Our base damage is 21,000. That means our crits are somewhere in the neighborhood of 230,000. We'll hopefully see one, but it's not likely. I've decided we're going to switch to this. When you take damage, reduce your max health by the amount of damage you should have taken and gain 10% damage per health lost. So we're going to start to whittle down our max health, but enemies can't get to us anyway, so I'm not sure it's going to matter. So as we actually start taking damage, our health will drop, but our damage is now up to 24,000 very quickly. Obviously we're losing max HP, but I'm not that fussed about that. We're going to see if we can, we can see a few critical hits here and there. They're a little hard to read at that speed. It's very chaotic. We got a lot of stuff going on screen. But they should be 1150% of 23,000, so you get the idea. They're quite big. So we're trying to kill ourselves. It doesn't seem to be working. Oh, when I'm at a dash, so my damage goes up even more. So it's up to 35,000 base damage. So crits at that point should be about 380,000, which is probably enough to one-shot everything in the game forever. Well, we've created an absolutely unstoppable god, so I'm pretty satisfied with that. We'll let the game play itself forever, but that's it.